Hey, chat. Still posting up on socials. YouTube decided to turn off all of my tags. I don't understand, but it's whatever. Let me just get some stuff put up. Alright, that's posted. Alright. Posted on Discord, Twitter, everything. Hopefully that is all I need to do. Streaming later in the day. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. But yeah. To the list. And this is it. This is the list I am taking. 2 5 squads of Tormentors, of course for mechanics, 2 Demon Princes with wings, of course because you're playing Emperor's Children. There's really no reason not to take them. 2 squads of Infractors being led by 2 Exultants. I think one of them has Ghost Walk. Yeah, one of them is Warp Walker. The one with the Rapture Lash. So that's this one. Of course, we have Fulgrim. Because honestly, Carnival is probably one of the few lists that exists that's decent with Carnival. So that's pretty good. 3 squads of 10 Demonettes, which we are currently rocking some Daughters of Cain for that nonsense. And then we have 2 full squads of Noise Marines with Cacophonous leads. To my understanding, what you actually want to do in this list is 3 squads of Noise Marines. You don't even need the Cacophonous necessarily, although I do like sustains on 5s with the Cacophonists in place. But yeah, no armor, 3 heavies, 2 heavies and, well, 2 mediums, and then 1 super heavy. But yeah, we got to work out exactly how we're going to play this. Because I think I've played 1 game in the new mode. The tournament I went to last came out during the new rules, but the people running it just wanted to do the old stuff for some reason, which kind of screwed me over a little bit, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Because, dear God, Chaos Knights are very broken. And I am expecting to see a lot of Chaos and Imperial Knights, because as everyone's chanting and crying and bringing up these days, they're very strong. I wonder how this looks like with the black lid on. But I'm finally going to be able to play these. This is the list I was trying to play. What's up, Arch? This was the list I was trying to play the last time at this tournament that I'm going to. Explicitly because I thought it was kind of fun sounding. But that was right before the Thousand Suns Codex dropped, and right before I made a list for the Mutant Herd, which it didn't work, of course, but it was like fun to try. And now I have a good Mutant Herd list, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to use it. But then Mutant Herd got the biggest hit from the Nerf bat that no one's talking about. The reduction for the faction role to no longer work for Chaos Spawn or the Mutilate Vortex Beasts, the MVBs. So 2 of the key elements to that list no longer have access to the special rule from that list that made them good. So, the tournament, though. This is one of the better tournaments that runs pretty effectively. Specifically, it tells me what the tournament setup's going to be. So we're going to take a look at that. What you up to, Arch? Chilling? Hiya, fade. So, this tournament is 3 rounds because it's RTT. It's C, and then K, and then O. So, and specifically, it's all layout 6. So let me go get my cards. Because like I said, I have played 1 game in the new mode. I've tried to get like 4 other games in, but no one ever said they were interested in playing. Like, my schedule was just consistently bad for people. So C, we've got Linchpin. Classic name, but I think they changed it a bit. On top of Tipping Point. Well, what's the next one? Linchpin. And then Scorched. Simple enough. And then O is Terraform, which I've never played Terraform well. Terraform is like the bane of my existence. Every moment I play Terraform, the person I'm playing against is always fast enough that I want in my head to Terraform on a point and get like the perpetual points going forward. But like anytime I'm looking at the field, I'm like, all right, if I do that here, he's just going to rush me down and kill me. because he's going to get fights first and that's it. But now, with Carnival and having Demonettes who get fights first on their own, I'm a little okay with it. Just having a nicely positioned squad nearby that can maybe heroic intervene or something and help them out could be kind of cool. But let's see. So we've got Tipping Point as a map. Oh, Tipping Point is ladder. So that's on Linchpin. Search and Destroy is on Scorched. Okay. And Terraform is Crucible. Okay. So we have a corner to mid deployment on Terraform, ladder on Linchpin, and then quarters on Search and Destroy. The big thing here, though, is layout 6, which is going to be all of these. Boom. Ooh, this is going to be a struggle with this list. There's no Magic Dorito. Uh-oh, Arch. There's no Magic Dorito. How do I hide Fulgrim? Oh, no. So it's not going to be hard to hide Fulgrim. This being a small thing and not a wall, as long as they match this, that's actually not going to be bad. So Fulgrim's 90% of the time going to be here. Because there's no angle that he can send something to be like, haha, and then just screw me over. So as long as this is the Fulgrim pocket, I think we're good. Demon Princes might, depending on who I'm playing against, they might have to like pair up on one of these sides and then go. One squad Demonettes with Fulgrim. Okay. Because I need one squad Demonettes with Fulgrims. I need one squad Demonettes moving with the... moving with both of the Noise Marines. There's two ways to do this that I've seen. I'm supposed to either have two different squads of Demonettes serving as screens for two different squads of Noise Marines. But that kind of like is a risk. Like this is a very difficult list to play with because you need the Demonettes to be alive. And if they're not alive, you lose like the bulk of your power. So you can screen with them because they have fights first. That's great. But if your opponent goes, oh, cool, you put them at the front and you're probably going to kill like one of my Blood Angel friggin' Death Company, and then I'm going to kill all of them. And it's like, oh no. Okay. Like, that's not helpful to me, because if you kill all of them, I need a second squad that can kind of come in from the side and assist with whatever's going on over there with, like, stuff. Yeah, next, we're trying to figure out, because I got a tournament tomorrow. This is going to be the layout. I've got the cards in front of me for all three of the missions I'm going to be doing on this, which I can kind of show you. So, I'm actually thinking about this now. This got me worried. So that's my list. And mission 1 has that as a layout, or this is a deployment on that layout. So this one's going to be a ladder setup. So I'm a little worried about placement. I think the ladder's fine though for me. But the mission is Linchpin. Which, let's see. If marker whose turn it is does not control the objective marker. Yeah, same thing. So I have to control my objective in my deployment zone. And I have to be able to score on the middle. So I get 3 for my stuff and 5 for stuff in the middle, up to 15. And if I lose mine, the stuff in the middle is 3. So at best I can do 9. controls the objective and they score 3 BP for the macro. 5. Oh, okay, so I could 3, 6, 9, 12. You could score technically 12 if you own your opponent's deployment zone as well for that objective. I can bully, like on this list, with this list in this deployment, ladder setup kind of ends about here for this side and here for this side. Honestly, whatever goes over here is going to have to be able to move up. I think this is going to be where one of my tormentors, maybe my tormentors appear here, and then I have infractors that come up behind them to assist using scout. That way, if somebody's going to charge over here, they might kill my tormentors, which who gives a crap? Like, it sucks, but at the same time, having infractors to counter push into that'd be great. Depending on my opponent, I might have to put Noise Marines here, maybe, and then here. No, these Noise Marines could probably start here and then move here. Demonettes are definitely going to have to be in this area, either as a screen or just as a pocket that gives everyone sustained 1. Same thing here. Demonettes could pocket here. Infractors could possibly pocket next to them to get ready, because this is where the objective is going to be on the other side. There's going to be mid-objective. I feel like, yeah, some tournaments do this. The tournament I did at Too Many Games did not. The tournament at Too Many Games basically was like, you're not going to know what you're playing until the day of. Which, I mean, they can do that. I think some people prefer this way because you can kind of build your list around it. But seeing this, it's a bit difficult. Because I'm not going to lie. That guy in middle, my big dude, I might have to keep him in reserve. I've heard that in Carnival, a lot of people keep Fulgrim in reserve. This guy here. I don't like doing it because I prefer him being an on-field threat early. Because, I mean, that's a scary MFer for you to have to run into. If I know you're going to do it, if I know you don't have the ability to shoot him, and I know you're gunning for him, I am going to give him fights first. This is a struggle bus. Because his base is basically like this. So I really have to pay attention to this angle. Possibly someone popping out there. He might have to stay in reserve for the bulk of these maps. Specifically, there's one where I have to set up... Let's see, the quarter one would have this here. I could probably plop him here. Or, because quarters is rough. Someone could just aggressively push forward. I need threats, like here, that make people scared of going for him. Because there's two issues, right? There's two issues with this character. If I am unable to secure a foothold on the field, right? And the board this is standing on is about a quarter of the board. He can be very easy to kill if you do it right. Very easy. If you do it wrong, he could probably wipe. So he's done two things for me. He's died to a bunch of las cannon, and which is like high damage output weaponry, basically like the big nuke weaponry that other teams can have. He's died to it pretty immediately. One. Two, he flew past a bunch of enemy orcs, like a bulk army of orcs, poisoned like 4 squads in one go, wiped 2 squads out all on his own, and just started chewing through their backline so that they couldn't score on anything from the backside of the field, and basically forced half that army to turn around to try to kill him, and they couldn't. Because if they charged him, they would die. He attacks that much that he was able to kill that many orcs just in one go. So he can be really good into that. Or I can roll a bunch of dice into, let's say, what I'm probably going to be fighting mostly at this tournament is going to be knights, which are very durable vehicles, very limited in number in terms of stuff on the field. But into knights, he could kill a knight. He could outright kill a knight. He has all the statting and redundancy you would ever want to make him easily be able to wipe a knight out. If I roll poorly, it's already over. Like, I have run this guy in on basic vehicles where you have like an 80% chance to kill the vehicle, and I have done 0 damage to it. Yeah. I think I have one floating around. No, I don't. It's going to be in my back room. They're basically as big as him. But there's a specific type of knight right now on the market that everyone plays called the Canis Rex. I'm also expecting Atropos, which I wonder if I can show you guys these stats. Let me take a look. I think they're still free online. Indexes. Imperial Knights, Imperial Armor, Chaos. Here we are, the Atropos. Oh, it happens so much. Because, okay, for this guy, one of the core elements of him... Let me pull up his statting. Fulgrim. So, the attack he has that would be good into a knight is strength 14. So I'd be wounding on 3s. I only get 6 attacks. If I roll a 5s or 6s, I get a sustained 1 because these little demons are going to be near him. That's the whole point of this list. It's AP 3, so they could maybe save like 1 or 2 of them. But that factors it down from like 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, by the way. Sustained 1s usually means I'm actually going to be picking up 1 or 2. So assumption would be 7 hits going through, which then on 3s gets shaved to maybe like 5 wounds, 5 or 4. AP 3 gets shaved down another, maybe. So 4, 3. And then when that's done, it's D6 plus 1 damage. That's where the game gets real. Oh, I have a whole big box. There's a company that makes these called Tabletop Stronghold. I am not affiliated with them. There is a person on YouTube that is, though, who has like 15% off discounts, which is nice. I think it's someone is bad at something. Like I can't remember his name right now. I watch his stuff occasionally. But that's where so I once attacked a basic tank, not like a big meaty tank with this guy, a basic tank that I should have killed, but the 3 wounds that actually went through, I rolled all 1s. So I did like 5 damage. Like I did like 5-6 damage to it, which is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not enough to kill even the most basic of vehicles. But if you spike, this guy could do ridiculous damage. So like there's problems. There's problems there. He's good, but he's also not good. So I'm gonna have to put like more than just him into things that I need to kill. So if someone's running a Canis Rex, like 9 times out of 10, let me see if I can get his stats. Do 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 do. Things are free for a little while. I am actually a little sad that they made the codexes break the free stuff. I get that they want to do Combat Patrol for free to get people into it, then have them buy the codexes, but still. It was revolutionary when they were like, nah, brah. Okay. So this is something he'd go up against. Almost everyone runs this in an Imperial Knights army. And the last time I went to this tournament, there were like 5 Imperial Knights players. And they were all running him because these stats are insane. Similar to what my guy does when he's near a demon, he gets his benefit of adding more attacks to his overall attack roll when he rolls 5s on the hit. So he just gets it passively. He doesn't need anything near him to do it. But yeah, like 2d6 on decent like attacks. This thing basically just evaporates my guy. Or this one here. Because like I'm rolling d6 plus 1 for damage. This is just a 9. You see that number right there? That number doesn't change. It's just a 9. I could get a 7. I could get a 2. He just gets a 9. So if I run into this unit, if my brain goes, that Canis Rex needs to die, I have to send most likely Fulgrim and maybe both of my Demon Princes at it. Because if both my Demon Princes dump a bunch of mortals into him, because this is 26 wounds, right? So a maximum damage output roll could easily kill him from my guy. Considering this, right? He has a 3+ save. His invulnerable only works in ranged combat, which whatever. In close range, they usually have to spend a command point to get like Feel No Pain or an invulnerable save. But normally, if he doesn't have access, that means this save is a 6, not a 3. So he has to roll 6s to stop my incoming damage. He is T11, which is really good for me because I'm wounding him on 3s, which is nice. But like a maximum damage roll for me is 14, 28. I need at least 4 of the 6 basic attacks that go through to maximum roll to like really put it through that he's dead. Right? And then once he dies, he becomes this. So I don't actually kill him, is the trick here. This is one of the most annoying things in the game. This vanishes, and if I have the card that's like, yo, kill a hero, he goes, cool, this guy's dead. Now there's this guy. And you haven't actually killed him. You have to kill this one in order to get any like points or score for getting the kill here. Which is why you need to sort of overcommit to killing Canis, because if Fulgrim goes in after 2 full things immortals from Demon Princes go off, and then Fulgrim kills Canis, you hope that one of your Demon Princes is within range of this guy to consolidate into him and then kill this guy. Because this guy's not surviving a Demon Prince. It's not happening. Yeah, there's a few. Emperor's Children has access to revive units. I don't, personally, because I think that's coterie. But Carnival does not have revive. But yeah, so this is the big one I'm probably going to fight at least twice. If not this one, then the psychopaths that go to this goddamn store that I'm heading to are going to bring at least 1 or 2 of these. More wounds. I think further movement, right? Yeah, movement 10, 12. Same toughness, 3, 5. I think... Yeah, this is just an invuln. It's always 5. There is no, hey, it's only for ranged. This is straight up just you're always a 5-up invuln. Yeah. So that's fun. But then there's this. There's like all this. Like all these sustain ones. You can increase things further with lethal functionality. It's like flat damages of 4. Like this is horrifying. All of this is horrifying. There is one list that I run that this is insane in because you can make his gun hit on 2s. It can advance, which means you can add a d6 of movement to this and then still shoot with like all of this. I think he gets both. Yeah, you don't swap. You'll have both of these. So you can fire this, which is ridiculous on its own, and this, which is yet again ridiculous on its own, into one unit. And when attacking monsters and vehicles, add 1 to the hit roll. And then if it's another Titan, this is why you see these. So this is already bad into my guy, because my guy's a monster. Fulgrim and the 2 demon princes I have are monsters. So technically he doesn't need the +1 to hit here. He could take it for redundancy because I could make my Fulgrim -1 to hit for anything coming at him. At which point this just negates it, and then he could still be +1 to ballistic skill and still hit me on 2s. And not even care about it. But the reason you're seeing this is because the meta right now is everyone runs Titans. So you bring this to reroll your hit rolls. And then you just run this thing. Oh, it's hang on. That's for them. Add 1 to wound rolls. That's the important part. Because into other knights, this wounds on 3s normally. So it'll wound on 2s for the big knights. And then it's the same thing here. And the same thing here. So hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s into this guy. It's kind of what you want. Way more movement. Better combat potential. Not as much damage output on the melee weapon, but still, sustained 1 just like this guy has on basically everything. Sustained, 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 sustained. For those uninitiated, normally what this means right here is that if he rolls a 6 when he's swinging at me, he can add an extra dice to the wound roll that comes afterwards. So if he rolls 5 attacks on 2s, misses 1, but then rolls normally a 6, but in this guy's case, a 5. He just adds another dice. What's up, Crusher Joe? Crusher Joe, I'm guessing? Crusher Joe. So yeah, I'm guessing I'm going to see these at the tournament and this. And I'm not liking it. So with what we have in play on this layout, I'm thinking in the ladder deployment, I'm thinking Fulgrim goes here to threaten. Like I try to pocket Fulgrim here. The issue is I need to pay attention to this. Because if this can draw a line to Fulgrim's god-awfully huge base, I don't know how I do this. Like I don't know how I keep him safe outside of putting him like here. I guess he could start here. Oh, okay. We're just preparing, talking straps. If you're wondering anything, are you just a hobbyist or do you actually try to play? No, yeah, Canis Rex is winning games for people. So currently the meta is you have to have an answer. Oh, Canis? We were just talking about him. It's this. This can be allied into almost any Imperial army. So a lot of Imperial armies that aren't feeling that strong but have extremely cheap units, they take Canis. He's their hero. He's the Imperial Knight hero Titan. We don't really have one in Chaos. We're pretty much just standard, whatever. This is a named character. So when this guy dies, he becomes him. You have to kill him in order for it to be considered a kill. So you can usually position him in weird ways where if I kill you in shooting, you can drop this guy behind like a wall that I can't see. And it's a whole thing. But consider all these weapons. He has all of this. He has 2 different guns he can shoot with, I think. Chainbreaker, multi. Yeah, I think he or does he have 2? I know he's got this thing. I guess that's the small one. Las Impulsor and a multi-laser. What is Chainbreaker, Las Impulsor, multi-laser? Yeah. So you choose one of these 2. You choose this one. They all have sustained 1. This one has blast. Critting on 5s for the sustained 1 to trigger. Same thing with his melee. His melee is ridiculous. Look at this. Strength 20? Strength 20. The thing is, this guy is so weak, I wouldn't consider him a phase 2. The problem is, if you're a very skilled player, this guy can literally make or break a game. Because if you position in such a way where this guy could die, when this guy dies, this guy comes out, stands next to a wall that like the person can't charge into, you can't see him with anything else to shoot with, and he's standing on an objective or something, like you're gonna get points in the following round. Like, this guy is super obnoxious. But yeah, no, the stats for this is insane. So you're saying this is being used in Sisters. I don't think the Sisters rule lets them use Miracle Dice for him. No, yeah, he's obnoxious. Canis Rex is obnoxious. My friend has him, and he talks about using him in his Black Templar army, and it's like, dude, calm down, please. Calm down. Yeah, flat 9 damage. This guy's not fun. So when I fold over to my army, the list that I'm taking, if someone fields a Canis Rex and extends out of like the area that they're kind of protected with him, what I would literally need to do to deal with it is I would need both of my Demon Princes and Fulgrim and 1 squad of Demonettes. They would have to get to they'd have to get to him in such a way where they're positioned perfectly for the Demonettes to provide everyone here the benefits they have for sustain and send all of these guys in. Possibly if the Demonettes have to spend a command point to get charge after advance. So if they have to advance, I have to spend the command point. Because if the Demonettes go in with everyone, they'll also cause Canis Rex to have to take a battle shock at -1, which is kind of useful. It might not save him, or he might get around it because he's got a really good leadership anyway. But basically what I'm expecting is that two Demon Princes with wings, hopefully full health, we'll find out, crash into him. They do their mortal wounds on charge. That's huge. Let's see. Like, we can math it out. Let me pull up a dice rolling app. Dear God. Pretty sure Google had this. Here we are. Hang on. going to need to get like a plug-in for this in future, I think. What up, fat mans? Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Screw it. We just do this. So, 2 Demon Princes charging in on him. Let's assume, best case scenario, they're full health because I could keep them hiding behind some walls. So 10 in total. Yeah. 4 pluses equal mortals. Ooh, that's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's maximum, I think. So yeah, that would be an opener of 6, which is super nice. Probably mitigatable, depending on whether they have the feel no pain function, if it's an actual Imperial Knights list or if it's another list running him. Second one charging in on top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like another cap. That's actually huge. That would be a great opener. Dropping in on him with 12 mortals right off the bat. Ah, crap. Go ban that guy. This is where we basically immediately strike with Fulgrim after the fact. Oh, nice. What's the Abaddon going to be? Is he just going to be like a cacophonist or something? What are you doing? Oh, wait, no, you're Fat Man's. There's no color differences in my chat bot. This is going to be annoying. Because I know Crusher said that they were thinking of doing EC. So what are you running? What are you going to play? What you got going? So if Fulgrim decides he's going to do a basic full strike. So 6 attacks. It would be hitting on 2s, demons nearby, sustainings on 5s. See, this is like me right here. This is how this goes. He gets no other real benefit in combat. At 12 wounds down. Oh, nice. Like, if this is a make or break moment, this is when you reroll 1. Okay. So what happens here is because I have a 5, this stays in. He's strength 14 into T11. So we're looking for 3s. Good. 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 Thank you, game. At this point, unless if this is Canis Rex in Sisters, he wouldn't have access to specialty and vulnerable saves. So he would need 6s to stop this. Stops none of it. Which then leads to D6. Ooh, that's nice. Because here's the thing. I've spent way too much on my collection and paints. I have a stupid amount of stuff. I've had to literally stop. Like, I'm trying to go back to, saving money as opposed to like breaking even every month. Cause yeah, just had to get my car fixed. Whole grand on that. Thankfully that happened after I was already like, I should probably slow down on this. because I have a full Chaos Knights army. I have a full Tzeentch Demon army. I have a pretty good amount of Chaos Knights. I have a pretty good amount of Tzeentch Demons. I have a pretty solid collection of Emperor's Children. I have a single list option for Genestealer Cult. I have almost everything for Thousand Suns. And then I have a bunch of kill teams. But what you're looking at here, so we've already done 12 with the 2 charging. So 6, 7, 5, 6, and 4. So yeah, 17 extra. So in total, by the time Fulgrim swings in this hypothetical we're throwing out here. So yeah, dead. So by the time Fulgrim kills him, hopefully the 2 demon princes or even the demonettes are in a situation where when this guy gets picked up, either like if you wrap with that, Sir Hector can't appear, I think. Treated as a model disembarking. Yeah. So you treat him as a model disembarking from a destroyed transport, set him up within 3. He has these profiles, but cannot be selected to target. I don't think he can disembark in combat. But either way, he's most likely going to be close enough to someone. If he's within 3 inches of a Demonette squad or the Demon Prince or something, they're gonna go kill him. Oh, dude, I've run into so many people. So, hang on. So a lot of the people who, all right. My local area is an anomaly. It is a massive anomaly in the United States specifically. Most of the top U.S. players actually come out of this area. There's actually, I think, a person who plays on the international team for the U.S. I'm pretty sure this is the same guy I heard about them talking. I heard them talking about when I was watching one of the streams for it. I've played against him before. This is Warhammer 40k, yes. What's up, Arturo? So because of my local area and because of like the freaks that are out here, my collection is big. My collection is not the biggest I've seen. There are people out here. There's actually a guy who I'm probably going to buy 1.5 squads of Screamers off of pretty soon. He has them. They're just sitting in his basement. I'm going to try to recover what I lost fixing my car. And then I'll probably talk to him about the pricing for him, what he wants, and all that stuff. I think the last time I bought stuff off of him, he gave me like a couple bucks off, which that's fine. It's whatever. Screamers are hard to come by, so it's good to get them that way rather than go on eBay and have someone be like $20 more than normal. Currently, we're talking about collection size for armies, but we're mostly trying to go over everything I need to think about for tomorrow's tournament. Because this is the list, Carnival. And I don't think it's going to do well because the people local to here play a lot of Knights. Zangors aren't bad, man. Zangors aren't bad. I love the detachment that they come with. The new one doesn't, though. They give you Zangor Enlightened, which you can build spears. I highly suggest if they come in the box, build them as archers instead and just run them as spears if you want to play combat patrol. But Zangor archers with a Exalted Sorcerer right now are pretty god tier. Oh, thanks, Arturo. What things am I missing? I wrote this list forever ago, and I feel like I'm not thinking of something here. So one of these, probably Sigvald, has access to the super weapon. I need to remember this. I only have 2 upgrades. I think I used to have 3, but because of the points change, I lost one. So Sigvald has the super weapon that gives him +1 to attacks, and then I can declare +1 damage, dev wounds, and hazardous when I'm swinging with him. So that's pretty good. And then my other guy, this squad here in particular, they can get a guaranteed 6 on their advanced roll, and they can move through enemies without needing to take desperate escape tests. So there's like some finagly tricks I can do with them. Oh, nice. By the way, to everyone in chat, I am streaming to both YouTube and Twitch. Normally, I'd have the chat running for both, but apparently there's been this really weird crackdown on Twitch where they don't want people on Twitch seeing the universal chat for some reason. I don't get it. Like, there's a pretty decent-sized streamer who got banned for like a week because he had a multi-chat or something. He thought it was something else because he thought when he was testing his bits donations, and he was like, hey, donate bits, someone. Or I think it was like specifically the YouTube donation side of things. He asked for someone to donate there. He assumed that that's what was what triggered it, is because he asked for donations on YouTube and not Twitch. But it sounds more and more like the thing in the Twitch terms of service was like no on-screen chat. It's a local. It's not a big one. I haven't done a GT. I don't feel like I'm in the mindset for a GT right now. I do want to try a GT once, because that is a whole weekend. Of course, for me, it'll be 2 days, because I think most GTs are 2 days for general, and then if there's like the finals, like with the top 10 people or whatever, that's usually the final day. Is they have like the big top 10 players come out for the last day or something. Depends. The formats are all different. I need to think of what we can do here. So command points, command phase, everything standard, nothing different. Movement phase, everything standard, nothing different. Shooting phase, we get one thing. I can pick any of these units and give them -1 to hit for the entirety of that phase for incoming attacks. Only in the shooting phase. Charge phase. This is for the demonettes. Your unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back, provided at least one of the targets of that charge is within engagement range. So something from the Emperor's Children side of this army has to be in combat for me to spend the command point, or I could technically spend it and then make sure. So the charge can happen so long as the target has a pre-existing thing hitting it. The biggest tournament for me? I mean, recently the biggest tournament... That's actually a hard one. Like, biggest with number of people or biggest with people who showed up? Like, the quality of people that showed up. What we thinking, cool guy? So I got to make sure to charge with an Emperor's before doing that. So if Fulgrim goes in, I spend a command point, and then if these had to advance, those can now charge that same unit. Okay. That's the only thing that's different in the charge phase for me. Okay, that's cool. Which means everything for me is in the fight phase. So, not within engagement range of one or more, I can then uppy a demonette squad. They have to come back, though. This was a specific thing. If it arrives back on the battlefield in the reinforcement step of your next movement phase using the deep strike ability, it can be set up anywhere that is more than 6 inches horizontally, provided it is also set up wholly within 9 inches of an Emperor's Children unit. So, this is very finagly, and I got to pay attention to it. Do they have environment art 3D printouts, like environments with people and those that played? Okay, so first one, a lot of tournaments are moving to 3D printed terrain because, let me show you. Studio mode. So there's mats at tournaments. I have a set for myself, but most places now have their own mats. And then you see this little gray thing here? That is just an L wall. As you'll notice, there's a pretty basic mirroring going on here of L walls and then 2 staple walls, right? So what tournaments will do is they 3D print a bunch of this type of stuff. The 2 smalls, I think 4 mediums, and then 2 staples. And then I think they do like some rubble piles for this area, the little blue area here. And they just try to mirror it across every table. It's cheaper for them to do that to try to maintain. And then there's some 3D printed terrain they use that is, it's like more sustainable. Where, like, let's say this has a hinge. So, like, there's something here that locks it. And then you pop the thing out of the lock and then you just fold it flat. So you can just flat store all of this in a single box. You could have, like, 10 tables. No, yeah, there's so much. Terrain making and basing stuff has been, like, really cool over long periods of time. And one of the cool things with the advent of 3D printing is you can like find really cool basing stuff. There's companies that I keep seeing advertisements for that are like, yo, you want your stuff to look like a space desert? Get these space cacti. No, yeah, a lot of people 3D print. The place I'm going just finished up 3D printing everything. They have like 20 tables worth of terrain like this, all 3D printed. So that's the way they go. As for your tournament question, probably number of people. I mean, this one's pretty good because there's been pretty consistently 20 people at this one. It would have been the Too Many Games one, but I think the people who were planning on going to Too Many Games found out that you had to pay $70 to get in for the day because it was a convention. You had to pay. It clearly stated in the information for the tournament, if you're going to this, you're going to have to pay to get in. That actually annoyed the hell out of me because there were straight up 36 people signed up for it. There were 10 that actually went. So that was a little annoying. Then again, the people I played against and the stuff that I got to experience there, great. Fantastic. Felt really bad about my first game because it was against a guy who was playing a fluff Necron list, and I obliterated him. Every time I rolled and I saw the result, I was like, oh god, I think I have something that's a little too strong. I think I brought something that was a little too strong for the day. Because I obliterated him. The second person I wanted to play the second person on a proper map, but I got screwed on the worst map ever for my opponent, specifically. Let me see if I can find this. Because I don't think... Okay, yeah. So I want you guys to picture this, right? This map. Okay? This one. You're looking at it and you're thinking to yourself, okay. I mean, ladder setup, it's probably pretty good. You know, maybe a diagonal, a little cross setup here. It's probably not bad. So we were long edge. We were long edge. At this tournament, the one that I did at the convention, it was random. What they did was they random rolled for the mission. They random rolled the terrain layout. They random rolled the side effect of the mission. Or yeah, they rolled the mission. What else? Yeah, and then there was like the side thing as well. So with terrain for tournament play, you can. I want to be clear here. This is specifically tournament. If you're gonna play with friends, if you're gonna like try to create like your own fun with your own style of game or your own interesting board, do it. Do it. This is so sterile. There's actually a pretty big push on YouTube for people who are like, I hate this. And to a degree, yeah, sure. But I also think that this is kind of important for balance and equivalence for people to have to deal with all the same problems, right? So there's a part of it where I'm like, I get it. I get that people hate it. but I also kind of get that it has to be this way. So the flat, let me show you what I got. We're barely talking about the tournament prep. In my head, I'm trying to naturalize a lot of what I'm gonna have to deal with in terms of rules. We'll see if I can remember everything. It's been way too long. So what a lot of people do is for those squares, like I have a bunch of lisinopril mats that are textured. They all look like rocks. It's all the different sizes. You've got the smalls, mediums, large. The place I'm gonna go, it's basically MDF cut out. So they're all cut out to be the exact size they need to be. As for terrain, actually, we got stuff up here. The 3D prints are made to look a lot like kind of GW style terrain, which is, you know. This is actual GW because I play Kill Team and this is part of Kill Team. This is what came with Hivestorm. But like you can get terrain from Games Workshop. You can find your own 3D prints. Hell, you can cut up some cardboard. It doesn't look great, but if you're just trying to get a game in, it works. No, yeah, this is just for tournaments. If you're gonna do something cool, because like I have some awesome terrain pieces, right? Like I've got a really big landing bay. Like, there's some fun stuff you can do with this. When we play some of the crazier games at the store, people will set up, like, multi-floored battleground areas. Like, there's going to be chunks of it that then have, like, top parts that you have to, like, climb to get up on top of and deal with in areas. Like, it's really cool. But that's the thing, Fat Mans. Oh, thanks. I kind of want to turn Universal. I'm doing it. If I get banned, I get banned. I want you guys to see that you're all talking. Because there's people on Twitch, there's people on YouTube. Ugh. Stupid no chat on screen rule. But yeah, like I was saying. The match I played against, this guy had a really cool team. It was Imperial Guard. It was bulk guardsmen. He had a specific hero that can pop an ability that gives them all like -1 to hit, extra cover saves and stuff. Like it's basically double up cover saves. So they get like 4s or something, 3s or 4s. They're really, really good as basically a meat wall that's hard to kill. So the map was this, kind of. This is the new version, but it's the same idea. This normally, when you look in the how to do your layout stuff, the layout for it is probably for very specific sections that are like, oh yeah, that's fine. It'll have this deployment. That's why it's okay. But the deployment they gave us was long edges. This was when I was playing my Chaos Knights list, and I had a Despoiler, which is a ridiculously powerful ranged weapon. I had a Tyrant, which was all designed for ridiculous range potential. I had an Abominant, which was really good with its ranged. I think, do you guys understand where we're going here? He had no units that could kill my knights. None. His entire play was to hide in areas, out-OC me in spots, and then just control the area and just make me not be able to score for the longest time. Instead, what happened is I took Call the Horde as my mission. This was from the prior mode because he had a bunch of 20-man squads. I sat my Tyrant here so that it could step onto my middle objective and then see all of this. My Abominant was here with 3 dogs. I had 2 dogs here and a Despoiler that was here who was getting ready to just step up here to see all of this. Turn 1, I had almost completely scored on Call the Horde. I had wiped like 4 of his squads. Like, it was not good. It was like, ugh. I wanted to play him properly because that was a really cool list that I wanted to test. But I could not, in good conscience, assume that that game that I played against him was like a standard because the map was just so bad. And the problem was this table was the reason the person who took first because that person played on this table twice. That person was playing Parking Lot Tau. So that person had a gun line of tanks and broadsides and crazy long-range power at the back, and then a bunch of tanks that people couldn't kill right away that just flew out and sat on the objectives, and you couldn't do anything. You could not stop it. The first guy he fought tabled him by turn 3. The last guy he fought, he basically tabled him by turn 4. This guy was playing, what was it? I think he actually tabled him 5. But he was playing Custodes. That's what he was playing. It was dumb. The people that run that tournament, they do a lot of tournaments. A lot of people love their stuff. It was way better than the year before because they kind of had that dropped on them the year before. But this year they did a lot better. But at the same time, they could have done a lot better. Like, where is this going to open? Okay, it opened here. I think I have pictures. Yeah, here you go. Round 1. This is my knights. This was the first guy I fought. He was playing Necrons. He was doing okay. He made a bad call in this corner that lost almost everything over here. He tried to kill this carnivore so hard. This carnivore lived on 1 wound for like 3 turns and wiped so much of his stuff. This, just piling in like this, horrifying. Now, this was the same table I played on in the final round against a Tau Retaliation cadre. That was a fun game. Holy crap, that was fun. He beat me by like 10 points at the end because I ran out of stuff and he had enough things on the field to go places. Because that list was just like, I just guarantee I'm going to negate your attacks. I'm going to negate this stuff over here. It's whatever. Meanwhile, I'm just like, I'm doing whatever the hell I want on this field, just all over the place. Do I have... Oh, I do. Here you go. For your viewing pleasure. Yeah, this was the one where I basically wiped him out. This was turn 1? I think this was turn 1. Because he went first. He moved in, got the points he could, because he had raised banners. Raised banners, this was the old system. Old system, new knights. So none of these guys are battle line, so I could not raise banners. So he decided, turn 1, he was going to try to raise as many banners as he could. He did. This was the left side of the board. The right side of the board has a tyrant here, a despoiler like here. This despoiler basically wiped most of this out and everything that was over here. Which now there are 2 war dogs. There's a stalker and a brigand? No. Stalkers are the new things. So carnivore, stalker. I think, yeah, so my other stalker's here because I had 3 stalkers. And then a huntsman is waiting in reserve. I don't feel like I'm ready for this next tournament. I don't. I kind of get it, right? Like, I kind of get what I'm supposed to do. But we're looking at this. This is the layout. We have to do ladder setup. We have to do quarters. I have to consider, like, what do you guys think? Let me do this. Okay. This guy's base is freaking huge. There's problems with this. Because we're going to be setting up in the ladder setup system, which means I think he could start in this back corner behind these walls. But here's the problem. You have to assume that everything else needs placement too. All of it. These guys, always on the back objective. I might, if my opponent has a lot of stuff in reserve, utilize the other one for more screening, just to try to hold my back line. I need to make sure the infractors are positioned in a way where they could scout easily and effectively to try to like hold slightly forward positions. The main thing we have to think about is, where do we pocket the Noise Marines? I think bringing the Noise Marines in off of a table edge could be good. For the sake of having a punch in the face, I feel like one Demonette squad, one Noise Marine squad in reserve on average, because they could just be like, oh, I need to come in over here and do something. You have the deep strike from the Demonettes that could put them on an objective or in a nice spot. I don't know. But then the Noise Marines coming in near them and then just unloading into something with the benefit of the Demonettes for the 5-up to sustain. I'm like, these are rough decisions. I know the Demon Princes are going to have to start on the field. The threat of the Demon Princes makes people think twice about charging up the field. Emperor's Children Demon Princes with wings are way too strong. Left field question: has anyone ever used audio to make the gameplay seem more immersive? I did in D&D. I haven't. So we kind of do. The one store I play out pretty consistently has a constantly running fantasy music in the background. The place I'm about to go to, the last time I was there, they had smooth jazz. So it was a little different. We had some mood lighting in the one corner, and it was just some nice smooth jazz. We were like, this is weird. I don't understand this. So movement, the trick with Emperor's Children and movement is it's not so bad, right? That's kind of a key thing here. Each one of these little boxes is an inch. Spoilers, that's how this is designed. They make a box an inch. For your knowledge and understanding. On average, most of my units, the problem with the Noise Marines is they move 6. That's the fastest they move. That is my slowest unit. Most of my units move 7. My Demonettes move 9. Just flat out 9. They move it. And they can, of course, advance. One could potentially charge after an advance. Fulgrim gets to go 16. 16. That is his normal move. To those who are uninitiated with how Emperor's Children works, they are all allowed to advance and charge and shoot. There are some specifics, I guess, for people who are new to the game and are like, I might play Emperor's Children or I might play against Emperor's Children. If both of these Demon Princes advanced and they both planned on killing this Patriarch, I could only choose one of them to charge. Because the moment this one charged, he locks out any other units that have advanced from being able to charge. So, that being said, if an infractor just happened to be here, as long as this guy charges first, the infractor can charge second. Or I guess at this point, the exultant. He could charge second, because if the exultant charged first, the fact that this unit was charged prevents any advanced units from being able to charge it. That's how Emperor's Children works. You have to be very explicit about who you're advancing with, why, and whether or not you're going to be charging with anyone. So 16-inch movement. I think these guys are 13? 14? 14. 7s, 7s, 9s, 6s. So terrain isn't a big deal. The L brackets only negatively interact with the Demon Princes and Fulgrim. Fulgrim is the big issue. But it's not the worst. Because he has 16-inch movement and can advance and charge, if I assume that I can send these through the wall at 9 inches, he can gain an advance, go the whole way around. That's Fulgrim. That's my Patriarch. Ugh, so heavy. Focus. He is very expensive, both in money and in points. Which means in an army like this, you have to utilize this incredibly well, or it was pointless. Right? Like, that's an issue. So 9 times out of 10, what people with this kind of an army will do, they'll put him into reserve. Which I don't think I want to do. Let me double check. Double check reserve limits. Which I think is on here. I don't know. Yes, it is the transfigured one, which means I had to increase its base size because the Patriarch version has a bigger base than the transfigured version, which made me very sad to find out. Strategic reserves. Here we are. Strike force, 500 points. Yeah. The actual version, the actual 40k version, his wings are about the same size, but they go completely left and right. So this one has one up and one to the side to make him more dynamic. The other one is just like a flat board of wings. It's crazy looking. So points-wise, what we need to think about is 500 points. If we put him in, that's 365. That doesn't leave me a lot of room. I think I'd have to put Demonettes in there, unless I want to leave him on the field. Without him on the field, I think that's okay for the bulk of everything else I have to be on the field at the top of the game. The core issue this list has, I don't have armor. So if I'm going up against an army that's like, I have so much indirect, it's stupid, I have to think of things to do. Like, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do in that situation. Are there other types of Patriarch? Or you mean like Primarchs? Yeah. There's a bunch of them. Rabute Gilliman is another one that they have in the game right now. Let me Games Workshop. For the new players in the house. Please don't have my freaking address just on screen. Warhammer 40k, Space Marines. Who am I looking at? Dark Angels. And just general Space Marines. This is a human Patriarch. Not as big. But I mean, this is a patriarch. I think in their terminology, they're considered to be monsters, but they're also allowed to walk through walls. At least Gilliman is. Where's our boy? Where's our boy? I'm searching him. Screw it. I'm going to type... Yeah, there we are. So you got Lion right now. You got Gilliman. Currently, every single one of the patriarchs for the Chaos major legions are in. Fulgrim was the last one. So Magnus, Fulgrim, Angron, and... I feel bad that my brain... Magnus. All 4 of them are currently in. There are some like underlings as well. Dude, that new... Like, can we talk about... Where is it? Is it not in here? Oh, is it not up for pre-order yet? No, where are they? So Black Templar pre-order. That actually looks crazy. Oh, is this all this Saturday? This was last Saturday. Baby carrier. Ah, here we are. These are like sub-commanders. Vulcan Heston for the Salamanders. Darnath. And this MFer right here. Look at this nonsense. Always helmeted. Look at this insanity. And then this guy. Which, I mean, okay. Well, this guy. This is the one that matters. Yes. I mean, yes and no. You can find people to paint for you. I mean, people... I'll take money to paint stuff. I like food and shelter. I'm all about that. But yeah, you do need to build. You do need to paint. Not necessarily, okay? So building, yes. I would say building is a must. Because it's weird to just be like, yeah, I bought all the models. Let me just put the boxes on the board and, you know, push them around and be like, he's over here, by the way. Other than that, sometimes if you're playing in a casual situation, like at the store I usually play at, we don't really care if you paint your stuff. I mean, if you just want to play, you just want to play. The tournament I'm about to go to says in the rules, we're going to claim everyone painted. That's just a thing. Dude, Drago being removed. Oh my god, that was crazy to find out. But yeah, like they said you don't have to paint. Now, the problem with you don't have to paint is there's at least one, if not more, people that go to this tournament every single time. I've brought them up to a few people local to me because I'm like, what's up with this person? What's going on here? And they're like, oh yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know who you're talking about. And it's this one guy who, whenever you play against him, he will always have a completely unpainted army. And it's always different, right? So when Leviathan came out and these tournaments were starting to come back together, these Rogue Trader tournaments, he played Stampede. He played the Stampede because Stampede was doing really well in the meta. He had a ton of Tyranid models, none of them painted. And then Chaos Demons got big. So he had a ton of Chaos Demons just out of nowhere, all unpainted. Like, he basically would just, I think Facebook Marketplace churn models to just purchase and then sell as the meta changed, never painting anything. But Games Workshop, like Crusher Joe's saying, Games Workshop specific tournaments, they don't require paint, but if you don't paint, I think you're at a 10-point disadvantage. Some of them might actually require painting though. But the general rule in the game for that kind of tier is, oh, did you not paint your stuff? You don't get the 10 points. But I think the locally run, not necessarily the Games Workshop run one, although the Games Workshop one, they do really hold a high standard. Specifically, the Games Workshop run tournaments, if there's streaming involved, especially, or like photography and all that, they won't even really allow you to have too many 3D printed things involved, because they want it to be mostly focused on the Games Workshop models. When it comes to like FTC and stuff, like the more community run tournament scene, they're a little more open about the 3D print stuff, but they also do try to get you to paint your things. But yeah, this tournament that I'm going to is like, we don't really care. And I think the Rogue Trader I went to at the convention also said that if you didn't paint your stuff, you don't get your 10 points. And the first guy I fought had like half his army painted. So he was like, I'm already down 10 points. I was like, dude, put the 10 points in, man. Just do it. I don't care. It's not my bag to care. So yeah. First game. So first game is Linchpin. I'm definitely thinking Tormentors on the back line to at least hold. If my opponent doesn't have uppy downy or deep strike, they can move. If not, they have to screen. Whatever. They're a completely fine pair of squads to do that with. Then we kind of second line or third line, technically, the Noise Marines. Second line, the Infiltrator or the Infractors. And then we have roving squads of Demonettes with 3 distraction Carnifexes, who are kind of positioned in mid and maybe on one flank to try to force pressure. Sometimes those rulings for like molds and 3D prints, it's a little up in the air. It is. It's a rough one, because like, here's the thing. They have enjoyed the idea of 3D prints. Like it's been part of the message that they're okay with it at times when it comes to being like, I want a different spear than this or something like that. Then that you make it, you do it yourself. I don't think they're that interested in you then being like, hey, you want to get the spear that I made, and then posting it all over the internet. That's a little more like, to them. But like, sometimes they're okay with it, sometimes they're not. It's this whole back and forth. I watch a lot of war games live. Like, I have it on either my side monitor or my TV during the weekends when he's streaming. I think Tabletop Tactics or Tabletop Live. I think Tabletop Live was doing something today. I was watching it for most of the day. Like, I have it running, and when you watch that, there's always that person who has an army that has like 3 really big, beautiful 3D printed models that they painted. And those people play in big tournaments, and they have the model it's supposed to be on hand. Yeah. So when it comes to conversion, there is an element of it of rule of cool. I did have an extra pair of demon wings, so it kind of worked out for me. You could have they might have let you get away with 3D printing wings if you didn't have any, as long as you actually bought the Sigvald model. But the specifics to this is that it's a demon print sized base. That is very important. The base size is what it needs to be. And then I tried to make sure that his silhouette is about what a demon prince silhouette is. It was the same thing over here with the redeemed. It's more about getting the width and silhouette and general feel of the model. which, considering these models are like $80 cheaper than what the Demon Prince model is. Now, here's the thing. The Demon Prince box is insane. The Demon Prince box, when you are done building your Demon Prince, you're going to have so many parts left over that you can easily find models like Sigvald to go like, oh, I have an extra set of wings. Boom. I bought, what is it? I bought that one magical Minotaur thing from Age of Sigmar. I'm trying to remember what the hell he's called. He's from the Disciples of Tzeentch, and he's just like a tattooed up magic Minotaur. I green stuffed a Demon Prince backpack to him, and then a bunch of Demon Prince arm parts for his left arm to give it a gun. He's a Demon Prince for my Thousand Sons. When it comes to major tournaments, always ask. I can't stress that enough. If you're thinking of doing 3D print stuff, ask the tournament organizers what they're okay with, kind of the limitations there. Because if you go there with something that they aren't happy with and you do not have a written, yes, this is okay from them, you might not be able to play unless you have like a replacement. Like, I have Demon Princes with wings for my Thousand Sons. I could rotate these out if I really had to, but almost everyone I've played against with them, they see them and they immediately know, like, yes, this is a Demon Prince. It's got wings. It can fly. It has the base size. It is the silhouette. It is what it is. Let's see. So, Terraform. I have never done Terraform well. I don't think I'm going to win this one. Triangle setup. I need to get to these 3 objectives. Like, what, to anyone who plays tournaments, is it more standard to threaten mid and try and do stuff mid early? Or is the pacing of an average game more about threatening the outer edges for at least a turn or two, and then dealing with the outer edges, and then collapse on mid at the end? I'm trying to really figure this out. Because I feel like I fought a Necron guy who's probably going to be there, because this is the store he goes to, where he puts a Catan in mid. Like, he'll just throw a Catan in mid. That's his life. He just chucks a Catan in mid, and then he holds the sides of the field with everything else he has. Which is usually just giant bricks of warriors. So I'm thinking, like, I kind of want to threaten mid with Fulgrim, and that's probably the best way to do it, is to have him sit in mid. Because if he's in mid, not like visible, like more like what we were talking about, where he tries to sit here. The issue is if he sits here and I need him here, it's 16 inches for him to move his back of his base to here and then jet this way, which would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9 inches to move him up on, most likely, leaving 6 to go this way plus a d6. Like, him being here is more of a threat this way than anything else. I think best bet on the maps where I can, because there's the corner to mid setup, there's ladder, but then there's quarters. Quarters is going to be bad for me. I think in quarters I might have to make Fulgrim stay in reserve. I think I might have to, because in quarters I could easily scout my 2 squads. I could have my Tormentors here, leave the second squad here if I need to, Demonettes pocketed here, Demonettes pocketed here, maybe leave 1 in reserve. They should, you'd think. So, okay. Let's think about this. Let's think about this. When does all this kick off? Let's actually fully strategize. So I only have 2 squads of Tormentors. It is triangle, pizza wedge setups, terraform. Terraform, the action, your shooting phase. One or more units from your army, each within range of a different objective marker that is not within your deployment zone. End of the turn, if that... End of the turn. Wait. Holy crap. They changed it. Okay. Because old Terraform required it to last until the end of your opponent's next turn. I thought. But if this one just completes at the end of your turn... Oh, you can rotate now. It used to be that you could that you terraformed and no one else could, but you can unterraform someone's stuff. Ooh, okay. Second battle round onward. Each of the end of the command phase or the end of your turn. If it is the fifth.
Poggers.
Players return scores 4v3 for each marker they control. End of the turn overall. Okay, this is a timing thing. So this is rotational. So if I'm top of the... No, end of turn. Not end of battle round. End of turn. So it's just end of turn. So it's kind of easy to cycle it. Yeah. I might... But then who do I leave on the back line? Because I feel like I don't have enough mechanical units designed to, like, hang out on back lines and do stuff. Well, no, you can terraform right away. It's just scoring doesn't happen until second. You could terraform turn 1. It's considered terraform for you. Unless the general thing says mission actions can't occur until turn 2. So let's say terraform map. My opponent has a bunch of either uppy downy or things in reserve. What do I do? Do I leave my infractors on the back line? Do I leave a squad of demonettes back there? That might work. I have 3 squads of 10 demonettes to play with. The issue is I could technically put Fulgrim at the back. I hate leaving Fulgrim out of combat. I hate it. I hate it so much because his whole purpose is to just chuck poison everywhere. That's literally his whole purpose, is to just poison everything. Like anything he hits and wounds that isn't dead, it's poisoned. Let me check mission actions. Cards of actions can perform. Can't be an aircraft. Battle shocked. If it is within engagement range of an enemy. I don't have Titanic, so it doesn't matter. It advanced or fell back this turn. It is not eligible to shoot this phase, including units that have already shot. I can see that because they sticky. It's something I probably should have been doing, I view. It's one of those things where in my brain I'm like, like, I don't really think that's important. I kind of want to be in combat. Like, my bloodlust from playing 3rd, 4th, and 5th is still so ingrained inside of me that, like, if my tormentors start forward, I'm starting them there because I'm planning on running them forward. Fulgrim's poison stays active until the unit he poisoned dies. Now, the way that works, in particular, is it works like any buff or debuff, where if I were to poison, like, an infractor unit being led by a character, right? And at the end of all of it, right, there's one guy, and then there's this guy. And it's D3 mortals if it goes off, which it's a 50-50 chance whether it goes off. If it's D3 and it does 3 mortals, it'll mortal him once, killing him, put 2 mortals on him, and then because this is now separate, because the attached unit is now gone, and this is now a solo unit, the poison's gone. We assume that the buffs and debuffs work the same way. And we have to assume a couple things here, I view. The place I'm playing in is very meta slavey. So I'm most likely going to be seeing a lot of Imperial Knights with the new Sisters thing that came out where people are like, oh, 60% win rate with Sisters. There's at least 2 people I know that play Sisters at this location who will be very happy to pull their Sisters back out with, you know, friggin' Canis Rex. And again, my only plan with Canis is to try to have someone expose him so that Fulgrim and both my Demon Princes and 1 squad of Demonettes could go kill him. Because Fulgrim alone against a freaking Canis Rex, dead. Every time. There's literally like 1 out of 10 fights where he wins that. No, yeah. Honestly, if I was going to this tournament with the mindset of, man, I can't wait to win this, I would bring my completely souped up, decked out, ready to go Infernal Lance list that I use. Because holy crap, Infernal Lance is so strong. It is so strong. I have I have a despoiler with dual Gatling cannons. I've got a tyrant that sits on the back and basically covers everything. He's toughness 12. He's toughness 13, I think. Like, he's ridiculous. And then I have what is it? It's the melee one. I use a melee big knight. And then I use 3 stalkers and 3 carnivores. And literally, it's like turn 1, I've got 3 carnivores moving 17 inches across the field. Like, what are you gonna... Come on. Like, what are we doing here? 3 carnivores in your face, maybe my melee guy. Like, you could have your freaking Canis Rex. If he's playing anywhere forward, you're about to die to 3 carnivores and a freaking melee knight. Like, that's it. That is it. No, yeah, Fulgrim. So the only reason I'm taking Fulgrim is because this is Carnival. And Fulgrim actually benefits greatly from Carnival because he does sustain on 5s, which is nice. He'll also have access to -1 to hit. So if I need to kind of double him up for having fights first in a round, but also being defensive and shooting, so he gets the -1 to hit, it's kind of a thing. But like, I'm not expecting, like I've been saying, I'm not expecting this list to be like, oh, fear me. But I am kind of expecting this list to be like, surprise. And then someone's just like, whoa, that was cool. Right? Because you've got the 2 squads of Noise Marines who are going to be sustaining on 5s so long as the Demonettes are close. You've got Demon Princes with wings are just what they are. They're horrifying. I tried this list with Lucius and some Flawless Blades instead of Fulgrim. Because I think it's like a full squad of Flawless Blades and a Lucius instead is like the exact points cost difference. And it was okay, but it was much harder to get Lucius and the Flawless Blades in position for the Demonettes to have their aura on him. Because with this, the trick with him is if I do deep strike Demonettes within 9 of the target he's going to go for, his base is so goddamn huge that it probably will be within range of the Demonettes. No, yeah. They need something. Like, I'm holding out, and when I say that, I'm not like, it's going to happen, guys. But what I'm holding out for is that the Hellbrute is getting a revamp. And that the Hellbrute is going to be designed as a revamp to have, in one box, a variant for every occasion. Maybe there will always be a dual melee Hellbrute. That's fine. But for the Thousand Suns, maybe he gets like a staff. And he's now psychic. Like, that would be really cool. For Emperor's Children, the Sonic Hellbrute. Let's go. Maybe he's got basically the MVB ability of just AoE mortals that just roams around the field, has an interesting gun, and then causes problems with leadership. That's cool. I love that. You got the, you basically, for your Corn one, you have what already exists. Double melee Corn freaking Hellbrute. Just always attacking. Like, it's just so crazy. And then, of course, Nurgle. You just have, like, a Hellbrute that's basically just stacked to the gills with, you can't kill me. It's not quick, but it'll get there. But, like, it's just a little thing like that. Like, I don't know. Mauler Fiends are okay, but we don't have a backline. Vindicators are so strong right now in this meta. For, like, the few armies that use them. Like, just having one Vindicator is enough to rotate a battle. Frickin' Predators. They're needed. My the Las Cannon Predator I have in my Thousand Suns and my my Vastor list, so strong. Forge Fiends, fantastic. If they could have been like Forge Fiends, but it's kind of like they're using sonic weapons. It's like, all right, cool. I like it. But I don't know. There does need to be a next tier for these guys. And I get that they're trying to adjust the whole general game. Because with the drop in toughness for knights, at least with the little knights, the armigers and the war dogs, these guys are a whole lot better. Like a whole lot better for their points. It's not incredible, but it's still decent. But yeah, if we could get Predators, that would have been great. I think I'm one Land Raider and maybe one Rhino away from trying the transport detachment. Now that I've experienced the transport detachment at least once, it's crazy. Like the stuff it can do is just wild. I get that Coterie is still super stupidly strong, but having that transport list and just like negating damage, friggin' popping off the field and then just appearing somewhere, dropping a whole contingent of Noise Marines out of the side of a Land Raider and just lighting something up with rerolls. No, yeah, Dev Wounds would be... That's literally... Almost every list runs bare minimum 2, if not 3 Demon Princes with Wings for that very reason. If I can find the right people to charge these Demon Princes into, that's going to be key. Like what we just ran earlier, Canis Rex. I need both my Demon Princes. I need potentially one squad of Demonettes. And I need Fulgrim to kill them. And that's so crazy to me. Because Lucius barely does damage. I know my command points are heavily going to be spent most likely on grenades. I feel like grenades are the big one for this detachment. Alright, cool guy. Yeah, I know grenades are going to be big. Honestly, dude, if they took off the reins on the what is it? The Cacophonist. If all they have to do is take the word infantry out of Doom Siren, and I think we're doing a little bit better. Like, just that little nudge, right? Like, that little, like, oh yeah, I feel like I can do something now. Just like, yeah, you take a Battle Shock, and you take some Mortals. The fact that they're like, not only infantry, bro. It's like, all right, cool. Like, at some point, like, the core... Okay, the thing Emperor's Children actually needs, like, let's be real. The thing Emperor's Children actually needs is for a horde list to become so strong in the meta that knights can't beat it and tanks and big meaty vehicles can't beat it. Because honestly, a list like this is such a horde assassin. Just like popping out with so much sustain potential and being like, oh, this is going to be great. I can't wait to fight that horde list. And if people can't play their knights lists because the horde lists exist and just crush them, like that's the weird part about 40k meta is it might not even need to be Emperor's Children getting a strength in the direction of vehicles as much as another team becoming so strong into vehicles that vehicles become something you can't really use that much. Then again, I was inches from playing my Vashtor list with the Vashtor buffs. Oh my god, dude. Just thinking about using Forge Fiends with the plus to the strength that he gives and all the bonuses from the Vash list. Oh my god. No, yeah, Packbound is good. There's a guy at my store who plays Packbound, and it's so strong. He plays a Vash Packbound list. I want to play Vash, the Forge list. I don't want to play Packbound, but Vash in a Packbound list is horrifyingly strong. The benefits he provides that team, like the Predators get huge buffs, the Forge Fiends get huge buffs. He runs a Vindicator in there. It's so scary. Dude, a Vindicator with lethal and sustain with the mark that gives it on 5s. With the... Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. The things he has done to people. He's just started to do tournaments too, and he's doing really well. The one thing he's constantly thinking of getting rid of are his Venom Crawlers. And on Packbound, you might want to think about the Lord Discordants. Lord Discordants are really good right now. Like, I'd almost, instead of that Knight Tyrant. Knight Tyrants are cool. I love running my Knight Tyrant in my my Lance because of his anti-12-inch bubble. It's so good. Like, the anti-frickin' reserve 12-inch bubble is so good on him. It's so obnoxious. You just put him in a corner, and you're like, this corner's mine. You can't take this corner. There is no corner for you. Or you can put him, like, dead center of the field if possible. Or dead center of the back line of the field and just sit there like, nah, bro. You want to try to bring someone in my deployment zone from reserves for behind enemy lines? Too bad. I was actually debating trying to run a Tyrant list. The all big list that the Knights use. I was going to run 2 Tyrants. One for the middle of the field and one for the back of the field. Just have this massive bubble of you just can't you can't teleport here, bro. How much uppy downy you got? Well, the answer is 0. So yeah, so Terraform, we can... I do need to open up my tactics a little more. So it could be that I put the Tormentors up front for not just the sticky, but the Terraform ability. And then in turn 2, run them away. Definitely place units in range so that it's like, look, you can go for my Tormentors if you really want to, but you're going to get immediately mauled by potentially the Infractors. Because I don't think it's viable to, like, burn the Demon Princes and Fulgrim for, like, just a small unit that rushes up. But a squad of Infractors I'd throw away. I mean, that's what they're meant for. It'll probably take 2 turns to position the Noise Marines in a way where I'm happy with them. Fulgrim definitely somewhere close to mid. because he can react and adapt. I think when setting up, I think these two are going to have to go last. Because whatever side seems scariest, these are going to have to go that way. I can always uppy downy my demonettes if I have to. If there's a lot of ordnance on my enemy's team, I might have to put one demonette squad in reserve, though. Maybe. I don't know. 4+ invuln usually means I'm going to last a little bit. And bringing them down within 9, the only thing that's beneficial for that is this guy. But yeah, so Terraform I'll have to think differently. Scorched Earth, though. We got Quarters. Scorched Earth. Quarters is going to be my weakest, I think, in terms of ability to do stuff. It might not be, though, because that'll definitely lean into the Tormentors. It'll lean into the Tormentors and the Infractors with their scouts. Wait, do I have a Rhino? Let me look at my list again. I don't think I do. No, I don't. Okay. If I'm going to change anything about this list, I might drop a squad of Infractors for maybe like 2 Chaos Spawns, maybe like 1 Rhino. We'll have to see. So Scorched Earth, action, shooting phase, second round onward. Which, yeah, Terraform, shooting phase. So you can do it turn 1. I think, yeah. I think we'll, against an army, hopefully I get paired against someone that doesn't have a lot of infiltrate, at which point I can most likely pick 2 spots, potentially, to infiltrate to and terraform. And then force them to move out to those areas. Although I don't want to give up a squad of Tormentors. If there's a safe place to put them where they're on the objective to do this, I'll do it. If not, maybe I'll just hold off. I'll be in position to do it, maybe. But yeah, Scorched Earth. So Terraform doesn't require... Does Terraform require me to hold the backline? Yeah, I gotta hold backline. Okay. So 4 VP for any objective. Whereas Scorched Earth, this is the one where you burn an objective eventually. Oh, I hate these mechanics. 1 unit from your army within range of an objective marker that is not within your deployment zone, end of your opponent's next turn, or the end of the battle. Whichever comes first. If your unit is still within range of the same objective marker and you control that objective marker. If completed, that objective marker is burned and removed. There was a weird idea I had where if a Tormentor squad I had on the safe side of the field had like a lot of incoming threats, I would turn 1 burn that objective and then just refocus my entire strength of my army on the other side of the field. Or turn 2 rather. Turn 2 burn it. Turn 2 burning is probably going to be hard though. Time a player burns an objective marker. Player scores 5 VP if that objective marker was in no man's land. 10 if it was in their opponent's deployment zone. So, fun strategy. Because Fulgrim moves so quick, if my opponent is one of those like elite teams that has a lot of open pockets on the field, there is a good chance that turn 2 I could have Fulgrim on their backline. And if Fulgrim can go back there, 100% I will be burning their objective. Potentially either with Fulgrim or uppy downeying these to then do it for him. That could be pretty good. So this one, player's turn scores 5 VP for each objective marker they control. So Scorched Earth, you need to control your objective. Terraform, need to control your objective. And Linchpin, of course, need to control your objective. You 100% have to control it. Linchpin is probably going to be one of the easier ones for me to deal with, because the flow of Linchpin on a ladder setup for me is just, like, I think it's just what it is, right? Like, we could use... maybe we could try to adapt that strat. Whatever the safe side is, where a Tormentor squad could sticky something and then flee. Because, I mean, there's 7-inch movement. Like, just hit them with an advance. Get them the hell out of there. I feel like that could work out. Sticky an objective. And then just bail. And if an enemy comes over, it's like, well, you stepped out. I mean, they could sit on it. I mean, they're 2 OC each. So it's 10 OC total, just sitting on the objective. So if my opponent goes over there, they have to out OC 10. I'm pretty sure. OC is like one of the stats I never remember. Yeah, 2 OC each for them. Fulgrim is like 6. Yep. Demonettes are 1. Yep. Add 1 to charge rolls. And better leadership. Okay. Demon Princes were what? 3? Yep. Lord Exultants just 1. Coffinists are the same. Noise Marines are 1. Tormentors are 2. So maybe we do that. Maybe that's like the core of every single one of these missions, is at least one squad of Tormentors going forward on Infiltrate right away, as soon as possible. Hopefully on the safe side. The question is, if my opponent has Infiltrate, which Infiltrate and Scout are extremely strong. Infiltrate considerably stronger than Scout in a lot of ways. If my opponent has it and they get to set up, and they get to set up first. If they take the safe side with Infiltrate, what do I do? Do I take the unsafe side with mine? Because, like, let me take a look at the map. So in the diagonal, let's see, this would be Terraform. Yeah, Terraform. In the diagonal for Terraform, there should be an objective kind of here-ish. This would be considered the safe one, because then you infiltrate a guy here. The infiltrator squad appears here. So it's the same thing here, but if I infiltrate here, I can't really infiltrate here. Like, this is an issue. I could infiltrate here, but again, diagonal, line of sight, 100%, like right away. So if they get to go first, this squad's dead. Whereas over here, if this is here, on objective with at least 1, maybe 2 people, giving me 4 OC on field, I then have the Infractor squad here scout forward so that they can support, so that these guys can drop back for screening if I feel like screening is necessary. Infractors can then go forward. Demonettes maybe in this area that can spread out. Maybe over here as well. Yeah, but I think I can only do that if I get the safe side. If I have Infiltrate and I can't get the safe side, I feel like I can't use it, right? Or else I'm just going to lose the squad. Because, like, let's take a look at Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy is quarters. Objective about here, which means this or this might be safe. Quarters here. This. So, Scorched Earth, Search and Destroy, it's not bad. Because if I'm here with the 5-man on this wall and they come this way, unless they're a very fast army, I might be fine. Just sitting on like an inch off the wall, basically. Because they'd have to kind of cut this way, like the whole way to see. Because these 2 points aren't considered a single piece of terrain. Being on here does not let you see into here. So if they come over here to toe in, they can't see me over here. If I'm behind the wall. So it like doesn't matter. So the Scorched Earth Search and Destroy map, this is pretty safe. This is pretty safe. But this is probably even safer. Although this is probably better for the Infractor Squad to scout up to. So that they can kind of impose their force in this area. Over here, probably an Infractor Squad, Demonettes, Noise Marines, probably chilling back here. I'd probably turn 1, position Fulgrim like at the back, and then just move him up to here. Because Fulgrim's just going to have to reposition at that point. They'll be 100% safe here, but I won't be on the objective. Because the objective is about right here, which means it's only going to kind of pass into these pieces. I think it's only really like maybe this one, maybe this one. I'd have to see it physically on the field. I think it might actually be here, which means this one. So I can either start here to just be on the point, although this is Scorched Earth, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, I could probably just start back here, not care about it. Aggressive Tormentor Squad. If it is here, I could move up with my Infractors here. Definitely think Infractor threat here. And probably here. I don't think my Infractors clear this gap. So if there's a lot coming this way, honestly, Fulgrim here. Like, Infractors here to lure people out. Or Tormentors here to lure people out. Fulgrim here to just be like, cool. Wow. Just slam in. Just let them open their defensive line and then just be here. Just immediately. No, yes. Not standing on objectives is a big thing. I think in Terraform, in the Terraform map, it might behoove me to stand on the objective depending. Depends on how close I am to my opponent and how fast my opponent is. Because if I'm standing on it and I go second, it forces them to come to me, even if they're not going to make it in a turn. Which they might not. Because it is a good distance from their deployment zone. I need to be very mindful of enemy scout and enemy infiltrate. Tipping point, though. So tipping point is like a bit up to here. I think, right? What is this? 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's right to here. And then 20, which probably brings me up to about here. Because that's 23, so 1, 2, 3. It brings you right up to this edge. So leaving a Fulgrim threat here, this pocket, if possible, is pretty good. I hate this wall, but a Fulgrim threat sitting, like, because he can tow onto this. This doesn't matter. As long as he's not towed onto this, it's fine. Having him here can easily threaten this whole area. So if I do put them here, yeah, maybe. Well, the trick is, in this one, it's also this. So I can't really threaten this area that way. The main one I need to protect and hold is up here, which means I can just put people here if I need to. Worst case scenario, maybe I pocket them like here or back here. Because I'm a quick army. EC has a lot of speed, so I don't need to worry that much. I also need to assume based on my opponents, like if my opponents have a lot of like chaffy fighters. I don't think I'm going to be seeing that at this place, but just in case, keeping it in my mind. Gotta remember, Demonettes are fights first. They also come with -1 to leadership and a forced battle shock at the top of the fight phase. They're good screening units. Like, they're good to put forward and, like, castle some people out if I need to. I don't think I'm going to run into something where that's useful, though. They do have dev wounds. Not strong dev wounds, but they do have dev wounds. They're sustained dev, which is nice. Because I feel like 9 times out of 10, I lose in the setup phase. Like, I'm so much better at kill team and setup. Like, it's insane. I have that, like, Rain Man moment of seeing all the equations when I'm playing kill team, and I'm like, oh yeah, if I put that Plague Caster here, it's God tier. It's like I automatically get it. 40k? Nah. I'm the idiot who put a Land Raider. I could have scooched the Land Raider 1 inch behind cover, and it wouldn't have been targetable. Instead, I was like, nah, I kind of want it to be here so I don't lose an inch when I move forward. And you don't have anything over there to shoot me, so I'm fine. Meanwhile, my opponent, with the ability to, like, move stuff around at the top of the turn, was like, all right, all my las cannons are over there now. And I'm like, I know you told me that that's what happens, but for some reason, I'm an idiot. So yeah, I'm just going to have to think. Ugh. So much of me wants to put my freaking Infernal Lance list up, because I know he hasn't solidified the lists. I could probably right now switch to my Infernal Lance list. Just to do it. Just to be like, I kind of want to have a chance. Ooh, it's 9 o'clock. I want to chill for a little bit. How long have we streamed? Jesus Christ, I've been talking to you guys about random shit for 2 hours. Okay. To anyone in chat, how many Canis Rexes do you think are going to be there? And when I say that, I mean among everyone. Not necessarily who I'm going to run into. I imagine I'm personally going to run into at least 2 Canis Rexes. But at a tournament, and I don't know in advance who's playing what army, because I don't think that's been put in here. Oh, dude, my current army that I actually like playing is Thousand Suns. The amount of frickin' turn 1, like, Ahriman plus Phalanx with the upgrade is 6 units that you can redeploy. Super fun. Or you can go into demons, and I think you can, with the upgrade and Ahriman, do 6 as well. But I think it's mostly demons, though. Is it just demons? It might just be demons. But yeah, I know you can get to like 6 for redeployment, which is crazy. You can't put them all in reserve, though, because it does explicitly say until the game starts, reserve is still limited. So you can't have 500 points in strategic reserve and then move more unless it explicitly says, like, yes, you can put these in regardless of the limits for all this stuff, which it does not say. It just says you can put them in there if you want. But yeah, there are 20 people going to this tournament. 20. How many Canis Rexes? This is explicit. because Canis Rex can be allied into Imperial armies. And as of recent, in Meta Mondays and Meta Overviews, people have talked heavily about a Sisters of Battle list that runs Canis Rex getting a 60% win rate. How many Canis Rexes do you guys think I'm going to see at a tournament at a location that by many has been described as sweat heavy? This is a sweat heavy, many meta chaser location. Not that I'm going to personally play, but among 20 people will have in their lists. Because I will tell you all in Discord when I find out. I think it's going to be 8 minimum. I think it's going to be 8. And I think I'm going to play 2 of them. Hopefully I can get some fun recordings. Maybe I can... So I need to get more videos out, man. I have a script almost done for every single kill team from Season 1 that I haven't talked about yet. We're going to try to get that out. But if I get enough footage from this tournament, and if it is what I think it is with how many Canis Rex users are going to be there, we might do a video talking about the problem, not of the meta, but of people kind of compartmentalizing the meta in a way where when they digest it, they only see lists and characters and not so much who's using it and how they're using it. Because so many times, man, I've run into so many meta lists that have won major tournaments with players who have zero clue how to use them. And it's wild. It's wild. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for talking. We got a little bit of information done. I'm probably going to sit here alone in the dark until I pass out, reading all of the cards for the missions. Because I've, yet again, have only played 1 mission in the current rules for 40K. I have asked 20 times to play games, but every single time I've asked, it's always been the worst possible time for people at my local store to like actually match up and play. Hopefully some of the new players locally expand their armies enough. I know a lot of them have been hyper-focusing on combat patrol to try to get the rules down. But there's like 20 people right now who are slowly building up 2K lists. And hopefully they get there soon, because that'd be really sweet. So thanks for hanging out, and keep close eye. If you're not already part of the Discord, join up, because I'll probably give play-by-play as we go. And post some pictures from the tournament. You know, we'll do some fun stuff. I'll give the deets. I can't. I've tried TTS, man. It just hits weird for me. I don't know. I played 1 kill team match on TTS and it was like okay. But yep. Till next time. Later.